Hello friends, and welcome to day 9 of the Let's Get Blitzen cocktail advent calendar. And at long last, we are serving up a delectable champagne cocktail to greet your guests in style. And because I firmly believe in only serving the best to my guests, I am using Piper Heidsieck Cuvée Brut Champagne as the foundation for this cocktail. This is the most awarded champagne house of the last century, and winemaker Emilien Boutillat is, I think I'm pronouncing that right. I felt really confident in the pronunciation, but they are the best sparkling winemaker in the world according to this year's international wine competition. Let's go ahead and get started, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Piper. We're going to be shaking this cocktail, so in addition to your fabulous Piper Heidsieck Cuvée Brut, you will need your gingerbread syrup, bourbon, ruby port, and a dash of absinthe, and some freshly squeezed orange juice. I have already taken a strip of peel off of this orange that we will be using for our garnish in the form of a twist. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do 1.5 ounces of bourbon into our shaker tin. I would recommend using a champagne flute that has more volume rather than less, because we want to make sure we can fit in at least 2 ounces of Piper on the top of our cocktail. And remember, we are never shaking with sparkling wine, especially not one of this caliber, my friends. We're going to do 1/2 ounce of gingerbread syrup. I am running low, and I am going to need to make a new batch to get through the remainder of our cocktails. We are quickly approaching the halfway mark of the Let's Get Blitzen cocktail advent calendar. 1/2 ounce of ruby port. So Piper Heidsieck has been around since 1785. Yes, that's right. And the founder of the House of Champagne, Florent Louis Heidsieck, was an ambitious self-starter, and he gave his first cuvée to Marie Antoinette. His intention was to create a wine that smiles, and he succeeded when he allowed the Queen, Marie Antoinette, to sample the first cuvée, and it was love at first sip, and she went on to become the first ambassador for Heidsieck NC. It went on to become a very popular wine. It went on to become a very popular bottle of champagne amongst royal courts, and went on from Habsburg princes to Chinese emperors to hold 14 royal warrants, which means it was the champagne of several royal courts. And it is no wonder then that it went on to have great success in the Kingdom of Hollywood as well. 1/3 ounce of freshly squeezed orange juice. Lovely. Because in 1953, Marilyn Monroe, making a strong case for blondes really do have more fun, just 1 dash of absinthe, oh, that's plenty, said, famously, I go to bed with a few drops of Chanel No. 5, and I wake up each morning with a glass of Piper Heidsieck. It warms me up. Well, I think I'm about to get warm shaking this, and I hope that Marilyn herself would approve of that holiday spot. Whew. Showing a little bra strap. Points deducted in Olympic gymnastics for that. Let's see. Hopefully you won't deduct any points from me in the cocktailing category. It's going to be a fabulous color. Port is giving us this lovely ruby red tone. And then we are going to top it off with a bit of Piper Heidsieck, making sure you're keeping your hand in the cage on the bottle. And then we will just gently quarter turn the bottom of the bottle, applying downward pressure on the top because we don't want it to burst right off. And there we have, as soon as I add a couple of ounces of Piper, pouring slowly to avoid an overflow. Don't get ahead of yourselves, my friends. Patience is a virtue when it comes to Piper. I think we'll give it a second. We'll just squeeze in a few more drops, why don't we? What do you say? I'm very excited about this one. I do tend to start all of my holiday festivities with a champagne cocktail, and who better to serve it with than with Piper Heidsieck. I'm just going to clean up the edges of this orange peel for our twist. Again, be sure to work with room temperature citrus to get the best results, and make sure that you have a pliable citrus twist. You do want to apply good pressure when you're running your wide peeler around the circumference of the orange, because you want to pull up a little bit of that pith to lend structure to your citrus twist. You can get Piper Heidsieck at the LCBO, at the SIQ, and elsewhere. Inquire with your local liquor retailer. So I'm just fashioning our orange peel into a lovely twist here. There we have it. We're just gonna kind of place it, perch it on the edge of the glass. And cheers, here we have that holiday sparkle made with Piper Heidsieck. Cheers. It's complex, it's interesting. You get some sweetness from the port. The Piper on the nose has great sense of fresh hazelnut, almond, which leads into pear and apple flavors. It's really delicious. Ends with some nice finishing notes of citrus. So we're kind of pulling it all together with the ingredients that we're using here today. The absinthe gives us a nice little, just a hint of anise on the back of the palate, which makes it for really well balanced with the baking spices you're getting from your gingerbread syrup. So I hope you try this one this evening and join me in raising a glass to that holiday sparkle. Cheers.